have already told you so many times that there is no need to speak in Hindi. Don't speak in Hindi. Okay, everyone? Okay. Okay, now students, you will get the link. Okay, for the live class, you all know that very well about it. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, beta. Good morning. And today the oral test. Yes, today will, yes, I'm good, all of you. Yes, beta, today. Yes, sorry. Okay, now students, again good morning all of you. Okay, before wasting any of the time, we will start the last chapter that we were on the last live class. Okay, I will explain you this chapter today, probably the complete chapter. Okay, now listen everyone, those who have not attended the last one class, I will explain the previous part, just an overview. I will give you an overview of the chapter that we have explained and learned in the last live class. Okay, this one is the 5th chapter of our book history. Okay, the Mughal Empire. Okay, the history of Mughal Empire, as you can see at the top of it, or you can see the this map, as you can see in this map, this one is the Mughal Empire. As we know that the Mughal Empire has been started from the first ruler of Mughal Empire, who was the first ruler, Babur. Babur defeated the last ruler of Lodi dynasty, and the last ruler of Lodi dynasty was Ibrahim Lodi. Okay, and after the death of Ibrahim Lodi, Babur captured all of the region which was under the rule of Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi, and under the rule of Lodi dynasty. Okay, as I have told you earlier also that before the time had been started of Mughal Empire, the time period was ruling over the throne of Delhi. Okay, we have studied about the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, now what we will study about the Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire, no, not even a single ruler of Mughal Empire have ruled over the throne of Delhi Sultanate. All the rulers have ruled over the throne of Agra. Okay, the capital was Agra. Okay, all of you, don't confuse, because at the time of Delhi Sultanate, all the dynasties which came and go, all the dynasties like Slave dynasty, Khalji dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, etc. Okay, these dynasties have come and go. So many rulers have come and go. But all these rulers, in all of these, one thing was common, was that the capital was at the Delhi throne. This is why it is known as the Delhi Sultanate. But at the time of Lodi dynasty, Sikandar Lodi shifted the capital from Delhi to Agra. Okay, after Sikandar Lodi, his successor was Ibrahim Lodi. Okay, and after Ibrahim Lodi, who became the ruler, Babur, and Babur started his own dynasty as the Mughal Empire or the Mughal dynasty. Okay, Babur was the founder as well as he was the first ruler of the Mughal Empire. After Babur was a powerful ruler as well. Okay, but Babur have died at an early age, and after him, his son became the successor and the ruler of Mughal Empire, and he started his own journey. Who was the ruler? Humayun. As you can see at here also, after Babur, Humayun became the ruler of Mughal Empire and the throne of Agra. Agra was the capital of all the regions which was under the rule of Mughal Empire, from Kabul, Afghanistan, Turkey to Turkey, and after it came here at India, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh also. All these were the part of India only. Okay, before the independence, India get independence, all the regions like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, all were the part of India only. Okay, and Babur himself gave the title to India as Hindustan. Okay, at the first time India was known, gained this title Hindustan was by Babur only. Okay, after Babur, who became the successor and the ruler, Humayun became the successor and the ruler. After Humayun, his son had became the ruler and the successor of this dynasty. Which dynasty? Mughal dynasty. Okay, now we will start this Mughal dynasty. As you can see, this is the route. Okay, route from Kabul to the Bangladesh. Okay, this is a roadway. Okay, as you know that from Afghanistan and up to the Bangladesh is a vast area, is a big route. Okay, so Akbar have decided to make a way from the starting of his empire at the end of his empire, and at the end of his empire means he want that all the regions which are under his empire, for example, the area like from here up to here. Okay, and starting point is here and the end point is at here. What Akbar have decided, that he want to make a road which start from his empire, starting point of his empire, at the end point of his empire. So Akbar made a road, it is known as a GT road. The full form of GT road is Grand Trunk Road, which had been started from Kabul up to Bangladesh. Understood? This is the whole area which was under the rule of Akbar at the time of Akbar. Humayun had died, the father of Akbar was Humayun. Humayun died at a very early age. Okay, when Akbar was only 14 years old. Akbar, again I am repeating, at the age of 14. Only at the age of 14, Akbar had became the ruler of empire. At so young age, he became the ruler of empire. He was so young at that time that he didn't got the time to learn to read and write. Okay, that is why he was known as the great ruler of India, because he captured most probably all over the region of India. Even we consider as the southern, probably the southern part of India also, because north also, east also, and central and west, these parts are already under the control of Akbar before at the time of his father only. Okay, but the southern part was not in the under control of the ruler like Babur and Humayun. Southern part was not in their control, but at the time of Akbar captured have so many regions of southern region also. That is why he was known as the Great Akbar. Okay, why he gained this title Great? Because he was a very good ruler as compared to the other ones. Okay, so many rulers come and go. He gained the title Akbar. Akbar means great. Okay, he gained the title by his public only, by the people of his empire. They decided to give the title of Akbar to the king, to their king, and the king name was Jalaluddin Muhammad. Before gaining the title Akbar, his name only was Jalaluddin Muhammad, which was given by their family, like father and mother. Okay, but after some time, when he started his rule for few years, and after spending few years on the throne of Agra, and he have done so many things for the public and the people of his empire, etc. Okay, so that is why the public was very well enjoyed this, and people was very happy from him. That is why they gave the title of Akbar to their ruler. Okay, Jalaluddin. After that, the name was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, and we know him by his name only, Akbar. Okay, Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. Now I am starting this. Please listen this carefully.
Muhammad Akbar, a mere 12 or 13-year-old, was installed as the next ruler of the Mughal Empire. Regents ruled and stabilized the empire. For the first 5 years of his reign. By 1561, he was ready to take charge. He expanded the empire further, conquering Gujarat, Bihar, and much of Bengal. However, at this point, the Mughals had a bit of a legitimacy problem. They were a foreign Muslim dynasty, ruling over a realm where less than 5% of the population followed the same faith as them. Babur and Humayun were followers of Bengal. However, at this point, the Mughals had a bit of a legitimacy problem. They were a foreign Muslim dynasty, ruling over a realm where
Yes. Okay, Akbar, as you know, was a very powerful, as we know that I have already told you right now that he was very powerful ruler. Okay, he ruled over the probably the all over the region of India. Okay, at the time when he was ruling the region, he captured almost 4 capitals like Agra, Delhi, Agra, Lahore, and Fatehpur Sikri. He shifted the capital from one by one. Okay, at the very first time, as we know that from the Kabul to Agra, there is a vast difference of the area. Kabul was situated right now. Is situated in Afghanistan, and Agra is situated in India at the probably the central part of India. Okay, so what he made when the Agra was the capital of his empire, he made Kabul also a capital of his empire also, because from Kabul also a big city and a big area, so he decided to make his brother-in-law as the governor of Kabul. Okay, he made him as the governor and as the ruler of particular area. Okay, Kabul was also a capital, Delhi was also a capital, and Agra was the main capital. But after few time, as the time passes, he decided to shift the capital from Agra to the neighboring city Fatehpur Sikri. Fatehpur Sikri is a neighboring city of Agra, just a few kilometers away from Agra. He made the capital Fatehpur Sikri from Agra. He shifted it from Agra to Fatehpur Sikri. Why he shifted? Because he thought that Fatehpur Sikri was the main center of his empire, so he can manage the empire very well. And one more thing, that Dargah was there. That is why he decided to shift the capital from Agra to Fatehpur Sikri. But after passing few years, what he thought that he will shift the capital from Fatehpur Sikri to Agra again. Okay, he had shifted the capital back again to Agra. Now, how many capital was there? First one is Delhi, Agra, Lahore, and Fatehpur Sikri. 4 of the capitals.
Less than 5% of the population followed the same faith as them. Babur and Humayun were followers of Sunni Islam, and that's also how Akbar started his reign. Although over the years he began a struggle to reconcile Islam with the various Indian religions. He invited scholars of various religions to have open discussions in the Ibadat Khana. He also invited Jesuits from the Portuguese enclave at Goa. In fact, the Portuguese had arrived in India.
Yes. Next point is Ibadat Khana. Okay, Akbar was very spiritual. Okay, he wanted that all the religions gain equal amount of spirituality and dignity. Okay, he want that the person who belong to whatever be the religion, if they are from their religion, okay, they can preach their religion peacefully. No one will going to harm them, no one will going to disturb them. Okay, so he decided to make a house like Ibadat Khana. Name the particular area was Ibadat Khana, the house of worship. In this house of worship, what he decided to invite the scholars from different religions. For example, scholars of Hinduism religion, scholars of Islam religion, scholars of Buddhism religion, Christianity, from Sikhism, etc. Okay, he invited all the scholars, probably the main scholars of his empire, to his Ibadat Khana. Okay, and to give the lectures and to make the spiritual things like poems, literature work, etc. So that people can learn and read it peacefully. No one will going to disturb them.
3 decades before the Mughals did, Akbar reconciled all these ideas into his Deen-e-Ilahi, or divine religion. This new religion kind of put the ruler as partly divine, and that was not very popular with the Muslims, who recited that there is no God but God. He also started worshipping the sun every morning. He tried to cozy up to the Hindus by abolishing the jizya tax and by financing Hindu temples. He was also the one who translated Mahabharata into Persian so his people could read it and understand.
Yes, Akbar is the only ruler of Mughal dynasty and the Muslim ruler that he have translated Gita and Mahabharata into Persian language. Why he have done this? Because the people, his people, can read and write Gita and Mahabharata also. Okay, that is why he have translated. He make one of the scholar to write this Gita in Persian language.
And Hinduism slightly better. You can watch the video by useful charts on Mahabharata and Hindu mythology, which is also a part of the discovery of India. Again, link is in the description. By this point, the subcontinent was pretty much self-sufficient and only imported precious metals, war horses, and just a few spices. Who translated Mahabharata into Persian so his people could read it and understand Hinduism slightly better. You can watch the video by useful charts on Mahabharata and Hindu mythology, which is also a part of the discovery of India. Again, link is in the description.
Okay, you all can see this picture. Okay, the map. This is the map which is under the area of Akbar. Okay, Akbar only the ruler who have captured the regions like Gujarat, Bengal, Bangladesh, and the eastern part of India also. Okay, from this, from the Kabul at the last, like Bangladesh and eastern part of India, he have captured probably all the regions of India.
At this point, the subcontinent was pretty much self-sufficient and only imported precious metals, war horses, and just a few spices. On the other hand, it exported many valuable things such as pepper, saffron, sugar, indigo, and textiles. Although as the subcontinent...
At the time of Akbar, trade was also a good point and good main thing, because at the time of Akbar had decided to trade the things which is more important for gaining the financial support from the other countries also. That is why he transport the pure things. He made the pure things and transport it from India to the other regions of the world. Okay, what type of things like saffron, textile, indigo, pepper, sugarcane, gold, horses. These are the type of things that he started to trade and export from India to the other regions. Why? Because the demand of these things was very high, because in India the quality of these things was very much pure. That is why the financial condition of India was also good at the time of Mughal Empire.
Many rulers, there were a lot of taxes that people had to pay as they crossed from the territory of one ruler to the other. It was also pretty dangerous since everyone was raiding everyone else, although it all changed with the arrival of the Mughals. During the brief period of Sher Shah Suri's rule, he had united all of North India under his banner, which allowed trade to flourish from the western edge of India to the eastern one. Sher Shah Suri was also the one who introduced the rupee coin. So in the nationalists,
okay, next you have shown the picture. This picture was of Sher Shah Suri. Sher Shah Suri was a powerful ruler at the time when Akbar was ruling the region of India from Kabul to Bangladesh. Sher Shah Suri was ruling on the neighboring regions of India at the time of Akbar also. And Sher Shah Suri is the only ruler who started the rupee coin. Right now our currency name is rupee, and the rupee coin was started by Sher Shah Suri. These are the pictures of coin that had been started by Sher Shah Suri.
Another thing he had to change. He also built the Grand Trunk Road, or as it's called now, GT Road, which connected his vast empire from the borders of Afghanistan all the way to Bengal. The Mughals designed a system of bureaucracy called the Mansabdari system, which was reformed by Akbar. A Mansabdar was an official who was liable to provide the emperor with troops. They had various grades, and the higher the grade, the more troops they had to provide. It ranged from 10 soldiers to 5,000 soldiers during Akbar's reign. To finance their obligation to the emperor, they were given a jagir, which was essentially the rights to collect taxes from a certain amount of land. The emperor himself appointed these Mansabdars, so they remained loyal to him, and he moved them around so they wouldn't be able to build a base of power in one place. The system was open to all faiths, and in fact some of the highest mansabs were held by Mughal and Rajput princes. The Mansabdars in turn had to handle the Zamindars, who were landowners with a significant degree of command over a single or a few villages. The Mansabdars often came into conflict with the Zamindars as they tried to collect taxes and enforce edicts, but the Zamindars resisted. Due to all these reforms, Akbar was able to provide the strong foundation that the young Mughal Empire needed to thrive in India. He is considered the greatest Mughal emperor by many. In fact, Akbar means the great and was a title, not his given name. He died in 1605. Akbar's son and heir, Nuruddin Muhammad Jahangir, further tried to expand the empire.
Yes, after the rule of Akbar, Akbar was died in 1605. Okay, his successor was his own son Nuruddin Muhammad Jahangir. Jahangir is the son of Akbar and started the rule after his father in 1605.
Pretty much reached its limits. He even tried to conquer Timur's former empire, but that didn't go anywhere. During his reign, he started actively trying to kill the newly founded Sikh religion from the region of Punjab. He even executed a Sikh guru. Mythology Guy's video in the Discovery of India collaboration talks about the foundation of Sikhs. Do check that one out as well. An interesting thing from the reign of Jahangir is that he tried to take over Ahmednagar to the south, which fell in 1616, but a rather famous unknown general named Malik Amgar started guerrilla warfare against the Mughals there. He became a major headache for the Mughals, but more damaging to the Mughals was the legacy of decade resistance against Mughal rule that he started. He had gathered many Hindus and Muslims in his mission, including a Maratha general named Shahaji Bhosale. He will become important later. Malik Ambar died in 1626 and Jahangir died in 1627, leaving the Mughal Empire to Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan pressed even harder on the decade, but again,
Yes. At the time of Jahangir decided to capture the area of Ahmednagar. Okay, in the Ahmednagar, Malik Gafur was the governor of that area, and he became a very much headache to Jahangir because he was very powerful and he just again and again tried to attack and capture the regions which was under the rule of Jahangir, and but after few times when he became a little weak, Jahangir had decided to kill him, and after the death of Malik Gafur, after 1 year, Jahangir was also died, and after him his son,
Maratha general
his son,
he will become Transoxiana, a Maratha general named Shahaji Bhosale. He will become important later. Malik Akbar died in 1626 and Jahangir died in 1627.
Yes, Malik Gafur was died in 1626, and after his death, after 1 year, Jahangir was also died. Means in 1627, Jahangir was also died. After him, his successor was his son Shah Jahan.
Mughal Empire to Shahabuddin Muhammad
Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah Jahan. Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah Jahan was the son of Jahangir, and he became the successor of and the ruler of Mughal Empire and the throne of Mughal dynasty.
But again, not very successfully. In 1646, Shah Jahan actually led a campaign into Transoxiana with the dreams of conquering the Timurid Empire. However, nothing was achieved there either. He was the one who built the Taj Mahal for his beloved deceased wife, Mumtaz Mahal, who, by the way, died giving birth to the couple's 14th child.
Mumtaz Mahal is the name of his wife of Shah Jahan. At the time of Shah Jahan built many monuments which are very famous right now also, as we know that the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal was also built by Shah Jahan. Okay, he was the main purpose of for making the Taj Mahal was because of in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. Okay, except Taj Mahal, he made some other monuments like the Red Fort of Delhi, Jama Masjid, and etc. These monuments are very famous, and as we know, as we see the Taj Mahal, it was the wonder of the world. That is why Shah Jahan is also one more thing that I want to tell you. Shah Jahan started artistic work like making the use of cenotaphs in a marble way. Okay.
19th year of their marriage in 1631. Shah Jahan seemed like he was close to death in 1657, so a civil war erupted among his sons. Even though Shah Jahan recovered, his sons had too much invested in the war, and so he was overthrown and imprisoned by his own son, Mughal Muhammad Aurangzeb, in 1658 after he won the civil war against his brothers. Shah Jahan would spend the next 8 years imprisoned in Agra fort, being able to see but never visit Taj Mahal. Aurangzeb was.
Yes, this the picture that you seen just now is the cenotaph of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. After the death of Mumtaz Mahal, she was buried under a cenotaph which was present in Taj Mahal only. But after his death, his son who became the successor, he made him imprisoned into the Red Fort for the reason that he want to spend more and more money, he want to waste the money. That is why his own son make him imprisoned in the Red Fort.
What's called traditionally pious. He revoked many of the tolerant policies implemented by Akbar. He imposed Islam on the entire realm. He even composed the Fatawa al-Arabiya, which is a compilation of the Sharia from various sources like the Quran and the Hadith. He banned music, but he couldn't completely impose that. Although at the same time,
Yes. The successor of Shah Jahan was his fourth son Aurangzeb. After the making of Dara is the first son of Shah Jahan, and Shah Jahan made the ruler of his empire on the Mughal Empire, his first son Dara, but Aurangzeb killed almost all of his brother just for the sake of throne. And as we know, according to the history, Aurangzeb have ruled probably all over the regions of which was under the rule of Shah Jahan. Okay, and Aurangzeb only the person who imprisoned his own father Shah Jahan into the Red Fort of Agra. Okay, next thing that Aurangzeb, according to his nature, he was very spiritual and religious person, and he gained the name like Fatwa of Alamgiri also.
People in his court based on merit and not religion. In his court, he employed the largest percentage of Hindus of any Mughal ruler. He did patronize the construction of Hindu temples while at the same time ordering destruction of temples which he deemed too attractive to Muslims. Like his great-grandpa Akbar, Aurangzeb was a conqueror. He spent most of his life in military campaigns. He extended the empire further south, but it got more and more difficult to control.
Yes. As you can see in this picture, the whole of the empire, which was in green color, it is under the rule of Aurangzeb only. But Ahmednagar, which was at the time of Jahangir, which was under the rule of Mughal Empire and the Mughal ruler, but after some time, at the time of Shah Jahan, they lose the battle from the Maratha Empire, and Ahmednagar was under control of the Maratha rulers and Maratha Empire. But the region which was, as you can see, the green, which is in green color, all over the region was under the control of Mughal Empire at the time of Aurangzeb. At the time of up to Shah Jahan, the rule was up to the central of India, up to Agra only, Bangladesh only, the central point of India. Okay, but when Aurangzeb became the ruler of Mughal dynasty and over the throne of Agra, he expanded his whole of the empire up to southern region also. As you can see in this map also, almost the simply this part of India has remained to control the regions from Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh and the southern part of India also. All these regions was under control of Aurangzeb. He expanded his whole of the empire very well and he ruled over these whole of the region probably the best. Okay, in all the rulers of Mughal Empire. Okay, he was very spiritual and a religious person.
Opened the Pandora's box that was the Deccan. He controlled the Mughal Empire at its territorial zenith and controlled the biggest portion of India since Muhammad ibn Tughlaq's death in 1351. Shah Ali
Yes.
was Ali's son, the great Maratha.
Muhammad bin Tughlaq, as I have told you that at the time of Alauddin Khalji also captured all the regions of India from the Afghanistan up to the southern part of India also. Alauddin Khalji also captured most probably all over the region. But after his death, his successor and the next dynasty's persons also, they have lose one by one, they lose the regions. And at the time of Babar, the empire was almost up to the central of India only. Okay, they lose all the regions which was under the central part, like southern part also, the west central also, and west southern west also. These regions they all lose it. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq also lose all the empire because they lose the battle. Okay, after Alauddin Khalji, Aurangzeb was the only ruler who captured the southern part of India also. Okay, under his rule. From the Afghanistan up to the southern part, only Aurangzeb is the ruler after Alauddin Khalji who captured the southern India also.
A warrior, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaja founded the Maratha Empire, which would quickly conquer quite an impressive amount of land in the south. Freemanpedia has made a video about the Marathas as a part of the discovery of India. You can check that out for more on that empire. Busy with keeping and expanding his empire, Aurangzeb failed to actually rule it. In my opinion, Aurangzeb just never knew when to end a war and go home. The Zamindars and the Mansabdars obtained more.
Yes, as we see the history, as we see that about the monuments, Aurangzeb made some of the monuments like Imad-ud-Daula and etc. These type of monuments are built by Aurangzeb only, but we can see that the monuments which was built by Aurangzeb are the copies of the monuments which was built by their ancestors, like his father, his grandfather, great grandfather, etc. The monuments which was built by them the monuments which was built by Aurangzeb are the exact or the same, probably the same copies of the monuments which was built by the ancestors of Aurangzeb, like his father, his grandfather or great grandfather. Okay, he was not at all very much interested in making the monuments which was known as the best one and etc. Okay, he was not at all interested in this. He was just interested in ruling the empire, probably the best, and he wanted that his public stay peacefully and religiously. Okay.
More power and grew restless. The system established by Akbar needed a strong and active ruler who could keep an eye on the Mansabdars, but that just wasn't Aurangzeb's strong suit. On top of that, the Mansabdars were tired of raising and sending troops all the time. The empire's treasury was also depleted by constant war. Aurangzeb spent his final years either conquering new lands or destroying rebellions in the previously conquered ones. After Aurangzeb's death in 1707,
Yes. at the last time of his age, before the few years when he when he became to die, okay, he spending his life in conquering and capturing the neighboring regions. For example, as you saw the map also, the southern part was left for capturing. So he was decided to capture the region which was not in his control. Like he was again and again tried to attack on Maratha Empire of Ahmednagar and the Maratha Empire, which was under control of Maratha rulers. Okay, who was the ruler of that time? Shivaji Bhosle. Okay, Shivaji Bhosle was the ruler of Maratha Empire at the time of Aurangzeb. So again and again he just attacking on that and want to capture the region which was not in his control. Okay, because as we can see from the starting of Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, the eastern India, the western part, northern part, central part, all of the part are and south, probably all the part of South India also, all the regions are under control of Akbar only. But few regions of southern India and the region which was under control of Maratha Empire, means the Shivaji Bhosle, he want to capture those regions also. So he just attacking on those again and again at the time of his death also, up to the death also.
A civil war broke out. Before it was over, 2 of his sons and 3 of his grandsons were dead. His eldest son, Bahadur Shah, ascended to the throne at the age of 64.
His elder son Bahadur Shah. After Aurangzeb, who was the successor, his eldest son Bahadur Shah succeeded the throne and he became the ruler. But after the death of Aurangzeb, slightly one by one, as the time passes, the empire and this dynasty, Mughal dynasty, became very weak, and as the time passes they lose their empire one by one. Other rulers come and capturing the region which was under control of Mughal dynasty, and after few years, after some of the rulers have come and go, after some of the rulers, Mughal dynasty was demolished and lose their all of the empire.
He repealed his father's conservative and discriminatory policies against the Hindus in order to win them over. Although Hindus weren't exactly the biggest problem the empire was facing, Bahadur Shah himself died in 1712, and before 1720 there were 2 more wars of succession until the reign of Muhammad Shah started. His reign was somewhat stabilizing the empire until in 1739 Nadir Shah, the Afsharid ruler of Persia, invaded, looted and sacked Delhi. Whatever illusion those around the Mughals had about their strength was now shattered.
After Aurangzeb, who became the ruler, Bahadur Shah. Okay, but he ruled over the throne only for few years. After Bahadur Shah, who became the ruler, Muhammad Shah. Okay, but he also ruled the region of empire, Mughal empire, for few years, like from 1720 to 1741. Probably 21 years he ruled over the throne, and after him Nadir Shah became the ruler.
The Marathas had already conquered almost all of South India. Now they were eyeing Delhi itself. On the other side, Ahmad Shah Durrani, the first ruler of Afghanistan and a protege of Nadir Shah, was harassing the Mughals as well.
After Nadir Shah, as you can see this picture, Ahmad Shah Durrani. Ahmad Shah Durrani was the ruler of Turkey at that time, and at the time of Nadir Shah, Ahmad Shah Durrani attacked on the throne of Mughal Empire and captured, won the battle and defeat Nadir Shah and capture all the empire which was under control of Mughal Empire. And this is the end of Mughal dynasty and the Mughal Empire, which was started from the Kabul and end up to the southern part. After Aurangzeb, I have already told you, after Aurangzeb the dynasty become weak one by one. After Bahadur Shah, next ruler was Muhammad Shah, and the last one was Nadir Shah. Okay, the dynasty have ruled finished after Nadir Shah. Okay, this chapter is finished now. Okay, and hopefully that you all have understood this one and come to the class now.